Hello, Sean from ReadingFluency.app. Welcome to this tutorial about using a group reading session to connect oral reading assessments from several students in one shared workflow. In a traditional one-to-one assessment, the teacher listens to one student, finishes that reading, and then moves to the next. That approach is useful when close teacher observation is a goal, but it can take a long time when the entire class of observation needs to take place. A group session changes the connection process. Students join with the class code and complete the assigned reading from their own devices. At the same time, the teacher can monitor the roster, see who is reading or has submitted, and review its result from the same session. The benefit is not that teacher review disappears. The benefit is that reading connection can happen in parallel, while the evidence and review process remain organized. Every group session begins with a passage. Open the passage card and choose Start Group Session. It's also available from the card directly. This opens the group session setup screen. First, choose the settings for the reading. AI auto-analysis and analyze recordings after students submit them. This can give you a first pass at likely miscues and scoring before you begin review the class results. Automatic analysis can reduce repetitive scoring work, but it does not remove teacher verification. You can still listen to each recording and change markings manually. Allow redo lets students discard a recording and try again before submission. Leaving this off when you want the first attempt to serve as an assessment record. Turn it on when students should be able to resolve a technical problem or restart an interrupted reading. Next, choose the reading mode. Use the whole passage when every student should complete the full text. Use time limited when everyone should read for the same assessment interval, such as 60 seconds, which is the default. For this example, I will choose a 30 seconds time limit. The session expiration controls how long students can continue using the class code. Choose the window that fits how you plan to administer the reading. Now, select the students who should participate. You can choose individual students, search a roster, or use a tag to select a whole class or existing group more quickly. The selected students will be the names available when learners join the session. This helps keep submissions connected to existing student records. Students do not need to tap a new profile or create their own account for every assessment. They join the session and select their name from the roster you prepared. Once the passage settings and roster are ready, choose Start Session. The session now has a 6-digit class code. Share this code with the participating students. You can also copy the session link when it is easier to distribute a direct link through your classroom platform. From the student side, choose I'm a student that enter the class code. After joining the session, the student sees a list of the roster that you just selected. They can type their own name, The student chooses Start Reading, allows microphone access if prompted, and begins the assigned passage. The passage and reading mode are already set by the teacher, so every participating student receives the same assessment instructions. This consistency is one of the practical benefits of a group session. The teacher prepares the passage, roster, and timing once instead of resetting the assessment separately for every student. Let's do a sample read. Our amazing solar system. Have you ever looked up when the time ends or when the student finishes a whole passage reading? The recording is prepared for submission. If redo is enabled, the student can choose redo or submit. If redo is not enabled, the completed attempt is submitted automatically. Okay. Now, let's go back to the teacher screen. The live roster shows where students are in the process. You can see which students have not submitted, which are in progress, which are done. Instead of keeping a separate checklist or trying to remember who has completed the reading, the session keeps that status visible in one place. This is especially useful when several students are working at once. The teacher can help a student who has a microphone problem or has not connected without losing track of the rest of the group. Click a submitted student to open their reading. If AI analysis was enabled, the app may already show a first pass at the assessment. Review the score, marked miscues, and recording just as you would for a one-to-one assessment. Space is a huge space. Listen back when a word needs verification. If an automated marking is incorrect, change it manually. Teacher corrections update the score and become part of the final assessment record. This is the core balance of the group workflow. Students can complete readings in parallel, while the teacher still controls the reviewed result. Continue through the submitted students from the same session. The organized roster makes it clear which readings are ready for review and which students still need to finish. Because the session began with students from your roster, submitted assessments stay connected to the appropriate student records. That is the same recording that we just did. That means the readings can contribute to each student's history, rather than becoming a separate stack of recordings that must be matched up later. If you leave the session screen, active sessions also appear on the dashboard. From there, you can copy the code, see how many students have submitted, or resume the teacher review. The main benefit of a group reading session are straightforward. Students can complete the same assigned reading from their own devices. Several readings can be connected during the same classroom window. The live roster shows who has joined, who is working, and who has submitted. AI analysis can prepare a first scoring pass, and the teacher can still review the recording, correct miscues, and decide what belongs in each student's final record. A group session does not change the core assessment model from the earlier videos. There is still a passage, there are still student records, and every submission becomes an assessment that should be reviewed as evidence, not treated as a number by itself. Use one-to-one assessments when you want to observe a student directly throughout the reading. Use group sessions when you need to connect readings from a class or intervention group more efficiently. In both cases, the goal is the same. Connect a useful reading record, verify what happened, and keep the result connected to the student's progress over time. That's group reading sessions. Thank you.